Hi everyone, welcome back to my next video. So today we are doing another review of power stations. This is one of the biggest investments most of us are going to make except for our rig. And so it's important that we get it right. And I like you to have all the information, as many different options as you can. Now, let me say that like the majority of power stations that I review, not all, but the majority, Oupes did send this to me. So this is the Oupes Mega 2 Pro. This is the second edition. I actually did a review of the Mega 2, not Pro, and I liked it a lot. A lot of great things. They also sent me a B2 extra battery, so it attaches to it. I love this. This is the best extra battery of any I have personally seen. I haven't seen any that even begin to compare. And as far as I'm concerned, this battery sets this combination really apart from nearly all the others. This right here. It's got a screen. I don't know of any other battery that's got a screen. This thing will take 2,100 watts of solar. That's so exceptional and unusual that, to my mind, this battery, if you're thinking about adding an extra battery, you might ever add an extra battery, this just sets this combination way apart. So let's go ahead and give you the numbers, because the numbers are the most important thing. They really are. Looking at the Mega 2 Pro, it has a 2,500 watt inverter, which is very good. I've been using these for a while now. It works super well. It has a 2,048 watt hour battery, Mega 2, meaning 2,000. And so it's in the 2,000 watt hour class. And one of the biggest things of all is how much solar will it take and at what voltage. That's one of the most important things. This will take 1,000 watts of solar, which is good, very good, but it's not great. I think the biggest one I know of will take 1,200 watts. However, it will take up to 80 volts, and that's better than almost all of them. So taking up to 80 volts of solar at 1,000 watts, that's good. That's a good combination. Okay, so let's go over some of the really, what I think are very good pros to this unit. First, was really exceptional. As far as I know, it's the only one. It has two cigarette lighter ports, which is almost unheard of to have two. I don't know of any other unit. I could be wrong, and if I am, leave a comment down below so everyone knows. But to the best of my knowledge, this is the only one with two cigarette lighter ports, and that's a big deal because a lot of things, for most of us, we're going to buy a 12-volt compressor fridge that has a cigarette lighter plug. You can go into the 110, almost all of them, but you're wasting a lot of power, and you don't want to. You want to use a cigarette lighter plug, and having two of them is really, really good. Now, as far as USBs, that's important because we use a lot of USB devices anymore, more than those than almost anything else. It has 4 total, which is kind of common. It's not enough as far as I'm concerned, but it's common. And so 2 of them are 140 watt USB-Cs. And that's very good. Having 2 140s, a lot of times you only get 2 100s, or you get one 100 and one like 65. 2 140s is really good. And then you have the standard USB-As. They're the fast charging ones. Man, I almost never use USB-As anymore. I do. I have a couple of old devices that will require a USB-A, so you got to have them. Over here we have DC output, and you've got something truly, truly exceptional over here in the DC output. For us DC connectors, it's using an Anderson port. Now, some of you probably aren't familiar with Anderson ports. They are an extremely common port. They're an excellent port. They're one of the best. Anymore, most devices are going to XT60s. So because I test so many different things, I really like to get these multi-ports. This is an MC4. You see it's connected to a solar panel right now. In fact, I've been charging these off of it. And it comes with, what does it come with? It comes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 different outlets. And the XT60 is the one I'm using by far the most, but it has an Anderson. So if you ever need to connect this to something else, you can just buy this, or you can just buy an Anderson. Amazon sells these all the time, but I keep these on hand because they connect to anything. But using an Anderson port is perfectly fine. It's an excellent connector. You're going to be glad you have it. I would have preferred an XT60. They're becoming more and more the standard, but the Anderson's perfectly fine. What's truly unusual about this one? Well, the two cigarette lighter ports is unusual, but this one has a 1,000 watt output DC, 12 volt through its Anderson connector, and that's extremely unusual. In fact, I don't know of any others that do it. Maybe some of the new ones are now. I'm not aware of it. That's just very unusual. First, because Anderson is so common, you could easily get an Anderson to come out of here and go into almost anything, because if you could buy an Anderson to MC4, and then you could connect this to a solar controller. So you have your own complete system. Well, you could use this, and why would you want to use this instead of your own system? Because of all the solar this will take, and that's a huge advantage, and we're going to talk about that here in a minute. But you could be charging a battery off of this very, very easily. So instead of having to buy this, what that means is you could use this to charge your own battery. Go on Amazon, buy yourself a good LifePo 4 battery, and you can charge your LifePo 4 right off of this Anderson connector. You'll just have to put on either alligator clips or get one that goes to an MC4, and then you can have a solar controller connected to your battery, and then you can be charging that off of here. Again, there's a reason why you might want to do that. And so that really gives you an advantage. You wouldn't necessarily have to buy this. You could just go and buy your own LifePo 4 battery, charge it off this, and then have the input coming in from that when you need the backup battery. Another reason you might want to do that is use the Anderson as a DC 1,000 watt output, is put a fuse box on your wall and then run all your 12 volt items, and you usually have many more than can fit in here, and then they could all go to the fuse box, and then you would be powering it from this box. And that's hard to do with most power systems. This makes it very, very easy. Having said that, there's a lot of reasons you could be really glad you have this Anderson putting out 1,000 watts DC. It's got a big flaw. There's only one Anderson connector, and both solar coming in and the DC 1000 going out uses the same port. That means you can't do both at the same time. So if I'm charging off of the sun, I can't be using this port to something else. It's got a switch here that flips back and forth. And let me tell you, this could also be a very, very dangerous thing. If you accidentally switch this from input to output and you plugs the wrong thing in, if it's set to output and you plug in your solar with 800 or 1,000 watts of solar coming in, it would seem to me you could potentially do some really severe damage. So my suggestion is that if you're not going to use this as an output, and I am never going to use it as an output, it's a great thing, but I'm never going to use it. It just doesn't meet my needs. I'm going to get a piece of tape and cover this so I can't accidentally switch it and have the wrong thing going on. But at any rate, even if you do want to use it, you can't charge in and put out because they go through the same port. And on this one, the AC outlets are on this side, and along with it is a 30 amp plug-in for your RV. So if you have an RV, you can plug right in and power your RV right off of this. That's something that most of the inexpensive kind of 2,000 watt hour power stations are doing away with, is they're getting rid of the 30 amp plug that this one has. I think it's an advantage to have it on there. Also, it has, over here, it has the connector to connect the battery. By itself, it's a very, very good unit. It's got a lot going for it. But if you're going to add the second battery, this is really where it shines. Again, because unlike almost all of them, it has a display panel. And it has its own built-in solar controller. This thing will take 2,100 watts of solar. That's astonishing. So you can connect 4 of these to this, and between them, you'll have 10,000 watt hours. But what so many of them do is they don't let you have a controller in here so that you could charge it from the sun. So you've got 10,000 watt hours of battery, but you can only charge it with 1,000 watt hours of solar into the main unit. That's not true here. If you get all four and connect them to this, you now have over 10,000 watt hours of battery. That's a huge amount. And you can't, how long would it take you on a cloudy, overcast day like today to charge 10,000 watt hours of battery if it only had 1,000 that you could put into this? Well, it's just completely impractical. But if you could put 2,100 into each of these, then you're putting in 9,400 watt hours. So if you can afford the solar and have a place to put them, you can charge the whole 10,000 hours in just a little bit over an hour. If you're off grid and you don't have power coming in, you don't want to be running a generator all the time, then that's just amazing. Solar has gotten so cheap that to have 4,000 or 5,000 watts of solar panels is cheap. It's astonishingly cheap. You can buy a 400 watt panel for 150 bucks. It's pretty realistic if you're living off grid in a cabin, you got a little bit of land going around you, to put 4,000 watts of solar panels outside your cabin and have all the solar you need. If you're looking for a truly expandable system, this is going to be it. Now, if you're truly off grid, then you probably are going to want 240 volt, and this has no capacity to get 240 volt. So be aware of that. If you're thinking in terms of, I'm going to be off grid, this might be what I buy. And I believe for the buck, this is probably the very best system you can buy that will take all that solar, 8,000 watts of solar panel charging, and have 10,000 watt hours of battery, and really remarkably cheap. Okay, so in every way, these are great units, but they do have, like all units, they have some problems. And there are two things that I consider pretty big problems. The first is the size. These are pretty good sized units, both of them. Let me get rid of this and I'll put another one up here for comparison. So this is the only one I have with me that I think is a good size comparison. The problem is that these 2,000 watt units are getting smaller and smaller all the time. So this is the Bluetti Elite 300, and I also have the Elite 200. And actually, the Elite 200 is basically the identical size. It's just a little bit narrower, but they're a good size comparison to the Oupes Mega 2 Pro. So you can see this is smaller. This is noticeably smaller. It's actually a little bit heavier because it's got a 1/3 bigger battery. So this is 3,000 watt hour battery. This is 2,000. It's about maybe a half an inch deeper, but you can see it is noticeably narrower. It's not nearly as long as is the Oupes Mega 2 Pro. So it's smaller. I think it's actually heavier, but it's smaller. That is my first of two pretty major complaints about this. Is it's a little bigger than most of them. For a 2,000 watt hour, this is a pretty big unit. This Elite 300 fits in my Subaru. It sits in the floorboard of the Subaru. This can't go in my Subaru. This is just a little too big. I'm not even going to think about putting this in the Subaru. Second complaint, it's loud. I hooked up 800 watts of solar coming in. I got a lot of solar sitting around here at my place. And man, it was just super loud. I did find a solution for that, and I've kind of eliminated that problem. The solution was to run my 800 watts of solar into here, and I don't even know if this thing has a fan. If it does, it's certainly not at all noticeable. So I run my 800 watts into here, and then of course it connects to here. It sits on top of this one. Then I have my whole 800 watts, and the fan doesn't come on at all because it's coming into here. I don't even know, it doesn't care at all about it. And so that eliminated the noise problem. Now, if I run my microwave, and I've got a pretty powerful microwave, it draws 1,700 watts, the fan will come on. But man, if I run the microwave for 7 minutes, I think the longest I almost ever run my microwave is to bake a potato in the microwave a potato, and that's 7 minutes. If this thing's on and noisy for 7 minutes, I'm not going to give that a thought. I'm busy making dinner. So to my mind, I have solved that problem. But if you don't get one of these, there's no solution. The expandability is truly excellent with this. I think the expandability is better than almost any of them, except the true off-grid systems. The Oupes makes a 6000, which has everything you want, and I haven't reviewed it. I haven't owned it, so I can't give you a review on it. But my guess is it's a good system, and you're going to be really happy to have it. But I don't know. I believe it's being announced, and the first day of sale for it is May 10th, 2026. If you watch this at any time after that, the pricing won't count, and who knows what the price will be. But in May of 2026, it's going to be $699. There'll be a 1-month introductory price, so you can buy this for $699. And that's a really good price. And right now they have a website set up. I'll put a link down below where you can get $50 off of that as well. Well, I hope that helped you. I hope that gave you some ideas of what you want and what you need, and will this meet your needs? So given the problems, why would you consider buying it? And to my mind, this battery with the ability to take 2100 watts at 150 volt, that's huge. It will go up to 150 volts, and it has its own screen, and you know what's going on. And it has its own 2 more USB-C and 4 more USB-As. It gives you another cigarette lighter plug. This makes it exceptional and really would make me, it's why I own it. That's why I took these from them, is because I wanted this combination of this battery and this. It's really kind of exceptional then. Okay, I hope you got something out of this video. I hope this gave you information to help you make a decision. So if you got anything out of it, like us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, but why not? Maybe tell some of your friends about the CheapRVliving channel, that it's been helpful to you, and maybe it'll be helpful for them. That's the very best thing you can do to help us, is tell your friends and your neighbors you have a choice in life. Your life can be better than it is today. And we'll see you on the next video.